What is up, guys? It is Russ here, PokeRuss here, and we are back for some more Dragon Ball Super TCG content and another Deck Tech Tuesday. Deck Tech Tuesday is a series where I go over different decks that are in the format, whether it be fun decks, competitive decks, submitted by me, or you guys. You guys can submit decks by either leaving them in the comment section down below on these videos, or any of my videos. You can leave them on a Pokemon video if you want, or in the description you can see a link to a email address. You can leave it there. We're working on getting a Discord up and running, so you can submit it over on Discord once I have that up and running. But let's get into this. We have a Pan deck. This is, I'm going to call this a post mecha deck. So the next couple we get into are going to be post mecha decks, because we're coming on to that thing where mecha's just gonna fade out into the vast memories of our mind. We're never gonna have to remember it existed again. 420 out of 500 people playing it. Anyway, post mecha. Also, have I done a mecha deck on the channel? I don't think I have. Maybe we'll do a post mecha deck, a post mecha deck. Anyway, mecha. I resisted. Anyway, we got Pan here today. So Pan's pretty awesome. This isn't your standard Pan deck. This is standard Pan deck, standard Panda deck. And I'm going to make sure to leave it in the title. It is a non-GT build. Well, it is a GT build, but not the standard GT build, because we're not going for that crazy turn 2 kill strat. It's a fun strat. But again, it's been done by a lot of people. I'm not covering the same thing everybody else is covering. I'm going to call this the more consistent build. This will do a lot of fun stuff and do it well, but it's not going to be you're just going for broke and going for that turn 2, turn 1 kill with the Pan strat. I mean, she can do that, but it's not consistent. So this is a more consistent build, I'll call it. So Pan, once per turn, when you play a battle card, that battle card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Then, if it's 2,000 or more, you draw 1 card. That's pretty snazzy. If you have 4 less life, you may choose 2 of your energy, switch them back to active mode, and bam bam, thank you ma'am, we have Pan ready to fight. Pretty much the same strat. Once per turn, when you play a battle card, this card gains 5,000 power, and if it's over 2,000 power, or 20,000 power, you draw 1 card, and then when this card attacks, you draw 1 card. So you get potentially 2 draws per turn, which is absolutely insane. That's why this leader is really good. Though we didn't see it in the past week in too many decks that made it to the top cut. Again, Mecha Frieza really hinders the format, but we're done talking about that. This will be one of the top tier decks once we go into post-mecha format. So she's really awesome, and she has a lot of really cool strats, and yeah, so let's get into this. Again, draw 2 per turn is absolutely good. It helps combat like the Cell matchup and all that kind of stuff. So let's get back into the profile. So starting off, now remember, pretty much anything that hits that 1,500 benchmark, that's your magic number for this deck. Not the 30,000. I mean, that is a benchmark. But this one's magic number is 20,000 or 15,000 because you can hit 20,000. You start off with Rushing Warrior Pan. You're running 4 of these little bad boys, bad girls. When you play this card, choose one of your red leader cards or red battle cards and gains 5,000 power for the duration of turn. When you combo with this card from your battle area, draw 1 card. Pretty nifty. You have to combo from the battle area, so you do have to play it, and then you gotta see if you can play around. You're probably gonna use this as soon as you possibly can, because it gives a boost, and then for that your attacking turn, then pretty much on the defense or even on the active of that turn, you pump it to draw a card. You don't lose a card with it. It's super nice. This isn't going to be one of the cards. This is probably going to be the second card you play in the turn, because you're obviously not going to want to give up the boost you're getting from this, because she's not going to hit the 20,000 power. So this is the second card you're being played in a turn. Then you combo with it from the battlefield, and boom, you draw a card. Super nice. It replaces itself. That's what pretty much turn 1's going to turn into, is cards that can replace itself. We're seeing that move a little bit into turn 2 with the Kabas, the Caulifla, the Goku, all that kind of stuff. The more turns you can just replace. After a second turn, I'm going to say it kind of turns more into if you can destroy something, if you can minus your opponent at that point, you're plussing there. And that's how this meta is definitely going to play around it. And I forgot to misorder the deck, or order the deck right. But next we have Saiyan Kaba. So this is a cool card because it's helping you self-awaken, but sadly you're not going to be getting You're going to be hitting the 20,000 power, but too late. Not early enough for you to draw off her effect, but he'll at least hit 20,000 power when he strikes, which is the important thing, because, again, that's just another card your opponent's going to have to waste if they don't want to take those prize cards. They probably are with this card. To be honest, Kaba is one of those double-edged swords where you're taking your life, you're giving your opponent life, stuff like that, so they're probably going to take it, but, again, it's nice for that late game. Hitting that 20,000 late game, like dropping one of these is super late game, being able to use the effect and double strike, get in there, that's when the money is going to really happen. Next we have 3 Dependable Robot Giru, nice and foily. It's a blocker, and if your Pan's in your battle area or your leader card, you can play this without paying the cost. This is a nice card. This is probably one of the first cards you're going to end up sideboarding in, because, again, this isn't one of those cards that you get the boost off of, but since this is more of a mid-range deck and you're not going for that super rush of the GT mode, this card helps you maintain that presence as you move into that mid-range. Again, these will probably be the first things you pop out, because, again, another good card to run over these is the Bodyguard Legic. These are actually in the sideboard here. He's definitely an option because, again, he hits that 20,000 power when he's summoned, and you can play him for free as well if your opponent doesn't have it. But as an average, this is always free as opposed to this. So these are interchangeable, but it's an option. Oh yeah, this deck was submitted by Dante6060 on the email address as well. We've seen a deck from him previously. This is a pretty cool build. He said this is what his wife uses at locals, so I just wanted to throw that out there because I did forget to say at the beginning, because all credit goes to you when I do these deck profiles that you guys submit, because I'm not going to take credit for these amazing decks that you guys create. We have Quick Rush Trunks. This is absolutely beautiful card. As soon as this card was previewed, I knew it was going to be good, just because turn 2 critical 1500, it hits that 2000 benchmark, you get a draw, that's the cool thing about Pan, is she turns every single one of your 1500s into that instantly replaces itself. Plus they have other effects, so like this one is critical, absolutely insane, absolutely beautiful. That's why I really like Pan as a leader. I can't wait to see the different style of decks she gets into. It's usually going to be mostly mono red because, again, her ability only applies to red cards, but... Oh, I lied. Her effect doesn't just apply to red cards. That's some of the other ones, like the little Pan and stuff like that. So she's going to be used with other things, so that's pretty cool. Next we have this card, 4 Determined Super Saiyan Son Goku. You're playing this, 1, because that is critical, turn 3, and 2, you're not really too worried about that secondary effect. It is a little bit of a hindrance, but most of the time you're kind of just popping it off with Grand Tour Spaceship, which we'll get into later, all the targets you have for that. But that's super nice. Again, critical 1500 bumps up to 2000. You have 2 turns straight of critical, so your opponent, it just does the dirty. It does the dirty to your opponent. The more critical you can get on board. There might be a Pan deck out there that just runs a poop ton of critical, where you're just sitting there stacking cards because you're drawing cards every turn. It's a Pan, and you're just criticaling your opponent. Your opponent just has to deal with it. Because critical is one of those things, like, once you get to a certain point, you really need those cards, so you really don't want a critical. Next, we're playing 4 copies of the Double Shot Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. Again, this is your red combo. If you have a red leader, you can play this in rest mode. It turns into a 20,000 when summoned if it's the first thing on the field during your opponent's turn. Super nice, awesome. That way it can kind of defend itself, because as soon as your opponent usually sees you drop these, they kind of change their target to get rid of these because they don't want these to attack them. So having that extra 20 or having that extra 50 or 5,000 really helps him survive. Next, we're going to skip those for now. We're going to go into the Ability Unleash Son Gohan. We're rocking 3 of these. We have the 4th one in sideboard. This is another one of those things that I'd probably move in the 4th into the deck, because this is really good. Again, this can be either a double breaker if you're actually getting the aggro, pushing for what you do, because a little bit of the GT strat is still in here. So you can still go for those big heavy moves, but when you summon this, you just plus so much off of her. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I can't stress enough how good this promo is. I'm almost sad it's a promo and how limited we are. I hope they re-release this somehow, because I really think this is one of the best promos we've gotten so far, easily. And I think it's only going to get more limited from here on out. Next, we're going to hit Jiren. We have 3 Jirens. Jiren's pretty much one of your big bad end gamers. So again, this is a mid-range deck, so you're doing pretty aggro at the beginning, but you're not pushing as hard as if you were doing the GT engine. Jiren comes out and just says, you tried to have a strat to get around me, but let's face it, Jiren's Jiren. He's gonna find a way around it, and he's gonna attack whatever plan you had, and then also double strike. He's just gonna go ham. And he turns into a 35,000 with the boost from, on that one attack with the boost from Pan, which is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. You're hitting over that magical number, and you know what I think about that magical number if you've spent any time on the channel. Next, we're running 2 of the chain attack Trunks. You can evolve it off the GT Trunks, which we do have the crit Trunks in here to evolve it off of, so you still do have that engine, the GT engine, as they call it. Permit this card can attack battle cards that are in active mode, so this does have what I call a little hissy effect. And when you play this card, choose 1 battle card from your hand with 1500 power less and play it. So you evolve off this either on turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, whatever turn. You pop it onto the field, you summon something else. It's absolutely bonkers. Super nice, super nice, super nice. So next, you're playing 2 of the Victorious Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku. It's an EX Evolve. You do evolve it off of your red Sun Goku GT, so the only way you can evolve this, because it has to be off of a Sun Goku, you have to be 4 or less life, so you can, this little guy gets, when you have 4 or less life, he turns into a turn 5. So that's how you evolve into the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. When this card attacks, switch it to active mode, and it gains, when this card attacks, switch this card to active mode, it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So it gets, basically has double strike, dual attack, which is absolutely insane. And it does get around, when it attacks, you switch to active mode immediately, just like Jiren, so it gets around Shigesh combos and does all that kind of stuff. You gain the boost, and so if you summon this as the first thing on turn, he turns into a 30,000, they turn into a 35,000. Just punch, punch, punch. Well, you can only punch twice. But still, double break, dual strike, absolutely insane. And the thing that makes all these cards even more worthy is, so, there's 2 right here. These guys hit your magic number of 30,000 straight off the bat, right? Because you summon them, if you summon them first, they turn 30,000, him with his effect, him just with the pan. And then 20. You have those guys that hit the magic number of this, almost. You have their hit 25s, and the knees all hit 20s, which is super nice because then, I'm going to obviously stacking almost the rest of the cards here. The key engine of the deck is obviously the Fearless Pan. You run 4 Fearless Pans. She's not only a blocker, she has barrier, so can't be chosen for card skills, and when you play this card, choose all other red leader cards and red battle cards, and give them a 5,000 power boost and double strike. So 1, all those crit cards get double strike, insane. They turn to 20,000s if they're 15,000s, if you summon this girl second, these guys have already gotten their boost. They're 20,000 to 25,000, and then you only need 5,000 more to hit that magic number again. You're going to hit it way before your opponent, which is absolutely insane. You're going to force them to waste cards. On average, they waste 2 cards every time you hit 30,000, roughly. That's the math. They waste 2 cards every time you hit 30,000, and they don't take it. So if you can hit that in 1 card or less, you're golden. Absolutely golden. And because we're running this pan and Little Babsy Pan, this is what makes this deck a little bit special, but a little bit more mid-range and gives you a couple more options. You have Power Absorbing Lewd. So permanent, if Pan isn't under this card, it cannot attack. Main phase, once per turn, choose a battle card in your drop area and place it under this card. It gains double strike for the rest of the turn. So 3rd turn, you drop this guy. You probably easily comboed with one of these by then. because these are what you're mulling for pretty much. You're mulling for these and the crit trunks. Those are pretty much what those cards you pretty much want to open them up with in your opening hand. And say your opponent discards some cards, you might have some Fearless Fans to discard pile, I don't know. But you probably do have these in the pile. You summon this turn 3, you eat one of these pans, and you have a powerful 20 or 30,000 with Pan's effect. Double Strike. What? What? Absolutely insane. It's a really fun card. As you saw last format, I really did like the Vegito engine. This is kind of like the same aspect of the Vegito engine, because you're not running any of the... in this deck, you're not running any of the... black cards, so you're not running any Overwhelm, so you don't have to worry about it removing it, that did help hurt things like Vegito and stuff, because it does limit the cards you can put in the deck. But I really think this deck works really well with Lewd. I would even suggest putting a third one in, potentially. I think it's a really cool card. Maybe if there's other pans, I think maybe in the future, if we see more pans, a third Lewd or a fourth Lewd might be pretty cool, but that's what we're seeing right now. That's not the end of the deck, because we have Grand Tour Spaceship, 3 of those. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose one Goku, Trunks, GT Trunks, Pan, or Giru with 1500 power or less and play them. That's pretty much half your deck. Half your deck is pretty much Pan, Trunks. Well, you can't get that Trunks. I lied. They're all in this pile. You have Goku, Trunks, Giru. Because, like, you're probably not hitting these Girus, but you have all these options for Grand Tour. I would definitely suggest maybe putting in that 4th Grand Tour Spaceship, because this would be another, again, card to maul. So you would either maul for this, the turn 1 Trunks, or the crit Trunks. The turn 1 Pan, sorry. Turn 1 Pan. So there's that. Which stack? I need this stack. We're running 4 of these negates. Now, we could side these in. We also have in the sideboard the Topo. So these are both really good really good negate cards in their own aspects. I personally like Topo, but I can totally see the Unending Awaken as well. Super nice, super awesome. Another thing you could also put in, again, this one allows you to, if your leader is red Saiyan, it gives you a boost, but the set 1 red is also still really nice, because you do have those blockers like Pan. She can block something, you negate the second thing. Like, if she can beat more than one thing on field, if you have like get another power boost or something like that on field, she can block an attack, then you play the negate, so you stop the second attack, untap her, and have her to block again with. Absolutely insane. And you can also do that with the Giru as well. Not that the Giru is probably living more than one attack, it's just an option. And then you have your handy Giru. This is definitely the card you don't want to see in your top 7 cards when you play Spaceship. Handy Giru, this is your super combo card. If you have 4 or less life, gains plus 10,000 and you draw a card. So that's the deck. Super cool deck. The sideboard as well, I'll lay that out real quick. We do have the 3 Legics, the 3 Topos, the 1 Champa, another Grand Tour Spaceship. We have 2 of the Gokus. Like, pretty much everything to make everything a 4 of is what they put in the sideboard. Chain Attack, Trunks, Dependable, Robot, Giru. I would probably change out this Dependable Robot for just that 4th Legic, because I think the Legic's a little bit more important than the Giru, but that's just my personal opinion. And then the Combination Attack Trunks, another great card in the deck. Those are probably going to be some of the first cards you side in, like these, and maybe like the Bodyguard Legics. If you're running this deck the way it is, like I said, I like the Legics better, but again, this is a deck that they've taken to events and did really well with. I'm showing it off to you guys because I think it's a really cool deck. They've sent it in, so they think it's a really cool deck, and maybe you can take it and tweak it to your own personal play style, and have fun with it. This has been another Deck Tech Tuesday. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Like I said, hit that like button down below if you like Dragon Ball Super TCG content. We're going to do some more pack openings here soon. Probably next week. I'm thinking next week. We're going to have some more pack openings from Blast from the Past, which where we open up old packs and have a lot of fun with that kind of stuff. We opened up an R2 last week on this channel. I'll link that in the description box down below as well. And I will see you guys. You know what? There's also Pokemon content and Monster Hunter content on the channel too. Don't forget to check that out. That might be your cup of tea as well. I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a great day. PokeRuss out. Peace.